In an era dominated by geopolitical tensions and unprecedented advancements in surveillance technology, the question, "Is your neighbor a Chinese spy?" might seem absurd at first glance. However, recent revelations about espionage networks, state-sponsored surveillance, and covert operations have made this question not only plausible, but worthy of serious consideration. The idea of spies lurking in suburban neighborhoods, blending seamlessly into everyday life, is no longer confined to the pages of Cold War thrillers. It's a reality shaping the modern global landscape. The rise of espionage in the digital age. Let's start with the basics. Espionage has evolved far beyond trench coats and secret messages hidden in newspapers. Modern espionage is sleek, data-driven, and often operates under the guise of legitimate activities. China, like many nations, invests heavily in intelligence operations, both domestic and international. Its approach to espionage is methodical, expansive, and often targets seemingly ordinary people or businesses to achieve extraordinary objectives. The Chinese government, through its intelligence agencies, relies on a mix of traditional human intelligence, HUMINT, and advanced cyber espionage techniques. This dual-pronged strategy allows operatives to gather data from sensitive government institutions, corporations, and even unsuspecting civilians. If you're wondering whether your neighbor could be involved, consider this. In 2018, it was revealed that China's Thousand Talents program, a state-sponsored recruitment initiative, actively sought scientists, academics, and professionals from foreign countries to gather intellectual property and sensitive information. What makes a neighbor suspicious? Let's break this down. Spies don't walk around announcing their profession. Instead, they blend into their environments, masquerading as average citizens while conducting covert activities. Here are some red flags to consider. Unusual access to sensitive areas. Does your neighbor frequently travel to locations associated with sensitive industries, such as defense contractors, tech hubs, or government buildings? Frequent trips to these areas could indicate involvement in information-gathering missions. A sudden interest in your life. If your neighbor asks detailed questions about your job, your connections, or even your personal hobbies, it could be more than just neighborly curiosity. Information about who you know and what you do could help them map out valuable intelligence networks. High-tech gadgets everywhere. Is their house bristling with antennas, cameras, or mysterious electronic equipment? Modern spies often rely on advanced surveillance technology to monitor communications and intercept data. Odd work hours and behavior. Do they seem to operate at unusual hours? Spies often work on irregular schedules to avoid drawing attention. If your neighbor's lights are on at 3 a.m. every night, they might not just be binge-watching Netflix. The methods of espionage. If your neighbor is a Chinese spy, their activities likely involve one or more of the following methods. Number 1. Human surveillance. Building relationships with people in their target network to extract information subtly. This could include befriending you, attending community events, or joining local organizations. Number 2. Data collection. Using Wi-Fi interceptors or malware to gather digital information. This could range from monitoring your online activity to hacking into nearby businesses. Number 3. Recruitment. Identifying potential assets, people with access to valuable information, and persuading, blackmailing, or bribing them into cooperation. Number 4. Intellectual property theft. Targeting professionals in industries like aerospace, artificial intelligence, and telecommunications to steal trade secrets. Could it really happen in your neighborhood? The short answer, absolutely. In 2020, the FBI reported that it opens a new China-related counterintelligence case approximately every 10 hours. While many of these involve cyber espionage, there are numerous documented cases of physical operatives infiltrating communities, universities, and businesses. Take the case of Jerry Chun-Shing Lee, a former CIA officer arrested in 2018 for passing classified information to Chinese intelligence agents. Or the instance of Chinese nationals caught attempting to enter U.S. military installations under the pretense of tourism. These examples underscore the reality that espionage often takes place in seemingly ordinary settings. Why would China target you or your area? It's easy to assume that spies would only target high-profile individuals, but intelligence networks often start small. China's strategic espionage approach involves casting a wide net, gathering seemingly insignificant bits of information that, when pieced together, provide valuable insights. For instance, if you work in a tech company, have connections to government employees, or even know someone in academia, you could unknowingly possess information that's of interest. Even your social media activity, your likes, posts, and network, could be part of the bigger picture. The risks of ignoring the signs. Dismissing the idea that your neighbor could be a spy might seem like the rational choice, but ignoring the possibility comes with risks. Espionage undermines national security, disrupts industries, and puts individuals at risk of exploitation. If your neighbor is engaging in suspicious activity, turning a blind eye only allows them to operate undetected. What should you do? If you suspect that your neighbor might be involved in espionage, the first step is to document unusual behavior. Take note of their activities, the people they interact with, and any patterns that seem out of place. Avoid confronting them directly, as this could jeopardize your safety or compromise ongoing investigations. Instead, report your concerns to the appropriate authorities. The FBI, for example, has a dedicated tip line for suspicious activities related to national security. Provide as much detail as possible, but remember to remain discreet. Conclusion: is your neighbor a spy? While the likelihood of your neighbor being a Chinese spy might seem slim, the reality is that espionage is alive and well in modern society. As technological advancements blur the lines between private and public life, the need for vigilance has never been greater. Whether your suspicions are rooted in fact or paranoia, staying informed and alert is key to protecting both yourself and your community. Because at the end of the day, you never really know who's living next door.